Have you ever walked into your favorite fast food restaurant and felt nostalgic? So this is where you celebrated high school graduations, dealt with heartbreaks, or just grabbed a quick lunch after work. Brace yourself. Some of those places may not be around much longer. Over the last year, the fast food industry has undergone a complete transformation. Subway closed more than 1,000 locations. KFC left entire states behind, including Louisiana. Domino's same-store sales fell by a startling 133%. That's not just awful figures, it's panic-level stuff. It's bizarre to watch chains we grew up with suddenly disappear from our towns. Chains we relied on for decades are now closing faster than we can keep track of. So today, we're delving into the true reasons why 20 major fast food chains are closing for good. And believe me, it's not always about money. Let us begin with one of the most shocking examples, KFC. Walking into any KFC establishment these days, you might still see the Colonel beaming back at you from the sign. But what about stepping inside? The fryers are chilly, the counters are bare, and the atmosphere feels off. KFC used to be everywhere. Seriously, there was a period when you could find one within 15 minutes of almost anywhere in America. At its peak, there were more than 24,000 locations globally. For centuries, KFC represented fried chicken. But now we're in 2025 and everything are coming apart quickly. Global same-store sales fell by 11% in 2024 alone, and in the United States, it became so severe that Yum! Brands, the parent company of KFC, closed over 300 stores last year. Get this, there are no KFCs left in Louisiana. Gone, just like that. So what happened? For starters, KFC was outplayed. Popeyes witnessed an 18% increase in revenue after introducing their viral chicken sandwich. Chick-fil-A, customer satisfaction remains high, and Raising Cane's is winning in major markets where KFC attempted to compete and failed miserably. Inside the corporation, things are not looking well either. More than 20% of franchises in the United States reported losses in 2024. Some longtime owners have walked away completely, claiming Yum! Brands charges exorbitant fees and has little idea what's going on the ground. One former Arkansas franchisee made it clear they don't care about us. They simply care about how much they can squeeze out. Then there is the menu. Modernization efforts such as Beyond Fried Chicken fell flat. Customers were perplexed, loyal fans were unimpressed, and newcomers didn't exactly line up. Furthermore, increased chicken costs, staffing shortages, and confusing pricing have driven away KFC's core customer base, budget-conscious families. KFC is also behind the times in terms of technology. While competing businesses provide user-friendly apps, loyalty points, and dependable delivery, KFC's online system is glitchy, slow, and irritating. Let's be real, KFC isn't just failing, it's in survival mode, and unless something drastic occurs, we may soon be left with nothing but memories of crispy chicken and mashed potatoes in a bucket. Number 2. Baskin-Robbins. Remember how exciting it was to walk into Baskin-Robbins as a kid? Bright pink spoons, 31 flavors, and the excitement of selecting your favorite or trying something new each time. For many of us, it was more than just ice cream. It was an experience, a treat after church, a post-game party, or simply a nice weekend stop. But now, the delight is fading. Baskin-Robbins, once a fixture at malls and strip centers across America, is slowly disappearing, stores are closing, foot traffic is reduced, and the enchantment of 31 no longer feels as exhilarating. So why is Baskin-Robbins melting away? Let's discuss Baskin-Robbins. If you grew up in the United States, or even just went to a mall in the 1990s or 2000s, you've had the pink spoon moment, that thrill you get when you walk in, see the giant 31 sign, and decide to try a new flavor. It wasn't just ice cream, it was an experience. What about now? That delight is slowly fading. In 2025, Baskin-Robbins, the brand that once characterized American ice cream culture, will silently disappear from the streets and shopping malls where it once dominated. Birthday celebrations are rare, foot traffic is low, and nostalgia is insufficient to keep the lights on. Baskin-Robbins, owned by Inspire Brands, the parent company of Dunkin' Donuts and Arby's, has become the weakest link in an expanding fast food empire. Last year, it accounted for less than 4% of Inspire's overall income, whereas Dunkin' Donuts alone generated 74%. The unbalance speaks it all. Now, let us talk about Domino's Pizza. Domino's was once only available on Friday nights. Whether it was college dorm hangouts, family dinners, or late-night cravings, Domino's had you covered. At its peak, it had over 18,000 sites in 90 plus countries. In 2018, it became the world's largest pizza chain in terms of sales. Their pitch was simple: hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less to your home. And for years, they delivered literally and figuratively. But by 2025, things are coming apart, and not because a rival pizzeria has sneaked in with superior pepperoni. No, Domino's is collapsing under the weight of its own pride. Same-store sales in the United States, where it is headquartered, fell by a staggering 133% in 2024. Worldwide, sales plummeted by another 10%. Over 800 restaurants have already closed globally, with 400 in the United States, and places like New England and the Pacific Northwest are seeing Domino's disappear quicker than they can explain why. So what went wrong? The exact factors that drove Domino's success, speed, convenience, and affordability, are being surpassed by a digital world that they helped create but failed to keep up with. They pioneered online ordering, app-based tracking, and quick delivery. What about now? Compared to newer players, their app feels clumsy. Delivery commitments are broken more frequently than kept. People are suddenly picking local pizzerias or newer fast casual establishments that feel more modern, speedier, and intimate. It's not all about pizza anymore. It's all about experience, and Domino's has not kept up. Let's talk about Domino's again. This time from the inside out. In the early 2010s, Domino's was a fast food technology pioneer. Their app was seamless, their pizza tracker was brilliant, and their 30 minutes or less guarantee, it seemed like a sure. You could order dinner with a few taps while lounging on your couch, and it would be delivered hot and on time. What about now? That same brand seems stuck in the past. Third-party apps such as DoorDash and Uber Eats completely transformed the game. People were no longer only deciding between pizza chains, they were also evaluating burgers, sushi, tacos, and other options within the same app. While other brands hopped on board, Domino's remained cautious. They did not like to share their clients or pay the costs. They focused on their own delivery system, which has not kept up. Their stubbornness cost them dearly. Customers began avoiding Domino's in favor of Papa John's, Little Caesars, and even local pizzerias that felt fresher, faster, and friendlier. Domino's was losing not only orders, but also trust. Then there is the menu. While the pizza market changed to include bold flavors, gourmet toppings, vegan alternatives, and inventive twists, Domino's remained in its greasy comfort zone. Their innovations, such as loaded tater tots and generic chicken sandwiches, received little attention. Most individuals simply shrugged and moved on. What was the result? A menu that seems dull, expensive, and forgotten. Inside the business, things are considerably worse. Number 4, Chick-fil-A. Not so long ago, Chick-fil-A appeared untouchable, like a dominant figure in the American fast food industry. Everyone recognized the name, everyone held an opinion. You either loved the chicken or hated the company's values. But nobody could deny that Chick-fil-A was winning. Lines wrap around corners, new stores open like lightning, and however they remained closed on Sundays while crushing every competition in sales per location. At its peak, Chick-fil-A earned more per store than McDonald's, KFC, or anyone else. What about now? There are cracks in the armor, and if you look closely, the indicators have been there for a long time. Let me know when you're ready. I'll keep the energy up and the stories authentic. Let's discuss Chick-fil-A. In 2019, Chick-fil-A was not just popular, but also dominant. Despite closing on Sundays, yes, you heard that correctly, despite the weekly break, they remain the third largest restaurant chain in the United States by sales. With over 2,700 locations, we outperform the competition with the highest sales per unit in the entire fast food business. For many years, they were the golden child of American fast food, a Southern-born brand that outperformed industry heavyweights like McDonald's and Starbucks in terms of consumer loyalty. People not only ate there, but they also waited in line. What about now? Chick-fil-A is quietly losing ground by 2025, which was previously unimaginable. Stores are closing all over the place, and not just gradually. Sales are dropping, and for a firm accustomed to constant growth, this feels like a true wake-up call. A recent analysis revealed a rare 3% dip in same-store sales in big cities, a startling figure for a brand that used to expand regardless. Now let's go to TGI Fridays. Consider this: you go past a restaurant that used to be packed every Friday night. Laughter, clinking drinks, and sizzling plates coming from the grill. What about now? The lights are dimmed. The sign is faded. Patio chairs heaped like lost memories. That is TGI Fridays in 2025. Fridays used to be more than just a day for eating. They also defined the weekend. This eatery made Friday feel like an occasion, with neon-lit happy hours, delicious burgers, and bone-in ribs glazed in Jack Daniel's sauce. At its peak, TGI Fridays had over 900 locations globally, contributing to the casual dining revolution that we take for granted today. But these days, that spark is no longer present. Sales have fallen by a staggering 20% since 2023. Over 150 stores have already closed down. Some of the hardest hit states are Texas, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania. This is not simply a downturn, it is a complete unraveling. Part of the problem? The menu has become a punchline. Potato skins, mozzarella sticks, and pub cuisine from 2004 just aren't cutting it anymore. To keep contemporary, competitors such as Applebee's and Chili's reinvent themselves on a monthly basis with sleek digital menus, strong flavor drops, and smart social media maneuvers. Meanwhile, TGI Fridays continues to use nostalgia as a selling feature. But in today's market, that just isn't enough. Let me know when you're ready for the next installment. I'll keep the tale tight, emotive, and designed to maximize audience retention. Let us keep continuing with TGI Fridays. While other chains adapted to the digital age, Fridays remained in a time warp. What are their flavors? They still taste like they came out of 2007. What is their layout? Walking into your uncle's basement bar feels retro, but not cool. Then there's the delivery dilemma, or should I say disaster. When the pandemic struck, brands such as Chili's and Applebee's reacted quickly, launching mobile applications, contactless pickup, and third-party delivery via DoorDash and Uber Eats. TGI Fridays, not very much. They paused. They caused a delay. And by the time they caught up, the customers had walked on. Today's diners demand more than simply terrific food. They want it fast, simple, and delivered to their sofa. And TGI Fridays just couldn't keep up. Behind the scenes, the situation is far worse. TriArtisan Capital, the parent firm, revealed a dismal 15% loss in EBITDA in 2024, and franchisees are unhappy. Lawsuits are stacking up. Stores are not paying their rent. Contracts are being broken up. Some sites are even going to court over broken promises and money disputes, not just in the United States, but also internationally. And let's speak about that disastrous push into Southeast Asia. Remember when that was supposed to help salvage the brand? That dream is now a distant memory. Now let us talk about Subway. Subway was once all about sandwiches, literally everywhere. Strip malls? Yep. Gas stations? Sure. Airports? Of course. Even high schools had one. In 2015, they reached a peak of approximately 27,000 sites across the United States, outpacing even McDonald's. For an entire generation, eat fresh was more than a slogan, it was a way of life. You could make your own sandwich, eat healthy-ish, and leave feeling like you made a wise decision. What about now? The fragrance of toasted bread just indicates a tragic event. Collapse. Subway shops are disappearing quicker than predicted by 2025. After closing over 1,000 locations in 2024, they're still cutting. Before the midway point of the year, another 700 closures are expected. Cities like Cleveland, Buffalo, and Detroit are facing the loss of their last Subway location. And it's not simply bad luck, it's a failure on several fronts. Remember the big Eat Fresh, Refresh campaign with Tom Brady and Stephen Curry? Millions of dollars were spent on advertisements, new packaging, and fresh branding. It flopped badly. According to a 2024 QSR magazine survey, Subway has the lowest customer satisfaction among fast casual companies. Dead last. Why? Because the meal no longer impresses people. Bread became soggy, veggies appeared exhausted, meat, meh, at best. Consumers noticed, they left. Franchisees who developed the business from the ground up are furious. Bankruptcy filings increased by 18% in 2024 as operators faced with exorbitant expenses and no support from corporate. Many left not only broke, but bitter. Meanwhile, competitors such as Jersey Mike's experienced a 15% sales increase last year. Jimmy John's is killing it with their quick sandwich delivery. Even grocery store delis are performing better, with fresher ingredients, lower pricing, and greater consistency. Subway used to represent freshness, quickness, and variety. Let us keep going with Steak and Shake. More than 60 Steak and Shake locations are set to close by mid-2024, including those in Ohio, Indiana, and Missouri, where they were once a staple. Whether it was a modest rural diner or a lively city corner, these establishments are now dark, vacant, and fading quickly. Why is this happening? It is not just one thing, it is everything. Poor service, long waiting times. Food is hit or miss depending on the day. In 2024 alone, same-store sales fell by 14%. That's more than just a lousy month. It's a clear evidence that customers have lost trust. They're not sure what they'll get when they step in, or how long will they have to wait for it. While competitors such as Five Guys, Shake Shack, and even McDonald's embraced smartphone apps, drive-through renovations, and functional digital menus, Steak and Shake lagged behind. Their technology update? Clunky, late, and inconsistent between places. It felt more like an afterthought than a strategy. Franchisees who have long been the brand's beating heart are suddenly turning away. Over 22% of them reported financial losses in 2024, and conflicts with corporations are escalating. Lawsuits are stacking up. There have been accusations of unmet promises and poor support. Big Larry Holdings, the parent firm, attempted to reduce expenses by substituting staff with self-service kiosks. But here's the issue. Folks didn't come to Steak and Shake for the screens. They came for the old school charm. The waitress who recognized your name. You sat in this booth every weekend. And now, that emotion is gone. Unless something changes, and quickly, this will not simply shrink. This is disappearing. Now, let us discuss about Hardee's. In 2025, the sizzle will be officially gone. Hardee's, once known for its hearty breakfast biscuits and flame-grilled burgers, is quietly fading from the fast food scene. More than 100 stores shuttered in 2024, with over 200 more anticipated by the end of 2025. They now operate less than 1,600 stores, down from a high of roughly 3,000 in the 1990s. Who was hit the hardest? The Midwest and Southeast, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky. These were previously dependable Hardee's strongholds, but today entire communities are waking up with only one location remaining. Even Wyoming and Kansas are losing every Hardee's location. What exactly went wrong? It's a tough market out there. McDonald's, Wendy's, and Chick-fil-A are not simply surviving, they are adapting. Faster service, fresher flavors, healthier choices, smarter marketing that communicates directly to younger audiences. Hardee's? Still leaning heavily on greasy classics and calorie-laden comfort foods. That strategy just does not work in today's society, which is moving towards lighter options and bolder tastes. Marketing mistakes haven't helped either. Their advertisements, which were once loud and distinctive, now seem antiquated, out of touch. While Gen Z and millennials seek out trendier labels such as Shake Shack and What a Burger, Hardee's is fighting to remain relevant. Behind the scenes, it is even worse. Franchisees worry about hefty royalties and inadequate corporate support. Summit Restaurant Holdings, one of Hardee's largest operators, filed for bankruptcy in 2024, closing 40 restaurants and upsetting franchise trust nationally. The parent company, CK Restaurants, is now changing its focus to Carl's Jr., a brand that is performing well in coastal cities. What about Hardee's? Quietly falling behind. It's time for Hooters. You recognize the vibe? Fluorescent orange shorts, chilled beer, and sports on every screen. Hooters was formerly the place to go on Friday and Saturday nights. A cultural mainstay, loud, proudhont, and packed. Hooters created their brand around a distinct image that no longer fits in with today's culture. What previously seemed fun and amusing to some is now considered outmoded, even offensive by many others. Social standards about gender roles, workplace culture, and inclusivity have evolved, and Hooters has not kept up. At the same time, competition has skyrocketed. Sports bars are becoming wiser, offering specialty beers, gourmet wings, and welcoming atmospheres that appeal to a broader audience. Meanwhile, Hooters cuisine feels dated. Wings, burgers, and nachos remain popular, but they are now competing with higher quality, fresher options and more sophisticated experiences. And with growing labor costs, harsher laws, and shifting consumer values, operating a Hooters restaurant is becoming more difficult and less profitable for franchisees. Unless the company finds a meaningful method to redefine itself rather than just rebranding, it may not survive much longer. Let me know when you're ready for the next installment. I'll keep it real, raw, and completely binge-worthy. Let us keep going with Hooters. Hooters was formerly the go-to spot. Neon orange shorts, chilled beer, and sports on every screen. It was more than just a restaurant. It was an experience. A spot for game nights, bachelor parties, and casual Friday hangouts. What about now in 2025? That buzz has gone. Competitors such as Buffalo Wild Wings have grown into much more than just wings and beer. They've evolved into family-friendly sports pubs with improved menus, superior service, and functional app-based ordering. Hooters tried to stay up, but its outdated model is holding it back. Their one-note image, which was previously their main selling point, has become a liability in a world where convenience, delivery, and inclusivity reign supreme. Culturally, things are even more challenging. Millennials and Gen Z are not connecting with the company in the same manner that previous generations did. They think Hooters is out of date, more cringeworthy than cool. Modernization efforts, such as adding new menu items or remodeling decor, have had little impact. Critics argue that the brand's identity is too rooted in the past to compete in today's fast-paced market. Behind the scenes, franchisees are struggling. Suburban and rural areas are shedding money. Operating costs are rising. Foot traffic is down. Thousands of jobs were lost. What about morale? At an all-time low. HOA Brands, the business behind Hooters, is now banking on a new idea called Hoots Wings. No flashy uniforms, smaller spaces, takeout focused. It could be the only lifeline left for a brand fighting hard to avoid extinction. Now, let's talk about Raising Cane's. For years, Raising Cane's was unstoppable. Chicken fingers, secret sauce, and drive-thrus that never seemed to stop. Their rise seemed like a fast food fantasy. But in 2025, the fissures are showing. Following years of rapid expansion, the chain is now retracting. In 2024, sales plummeted 9% and customer satisfaction fell by a dismal 15%. More than 120 locations have already closed, with more planned by the end of the year. So, what went wrong? First, consider chicken pricing. Raising Cane's has suffered greatly as poultry prices have risen. In late 2024, they secretly cut portion sizes and boosted menu pricing by 12%, infuriating loyal customers and flooding social media with complaints. Urban areas were struck particularly heavily. Break-ins, vandalism, and staff attacks increased by 18% across the board. Stores in major cities such as Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta became too dangerous to maintain open, so they closed. Thousands of jobs were lost. Storefronts are abandoned. The community is becoming increasingly frustrated. Then there's the franchise fallout. Many of the 200-plus new outlets that opened between 2019 and 2023 were located in overcrowded markets. Rather of increasing revenue, they ended up cannibalizing each other. Up to 15% of the surviving eateries are at risk of closing. What started as a golden age chicken empire is now collapsing quicker than anyone predicted. Fans throughout the country are asking the same question. Was the rise too quick to last? It's time for Moe's Southwest Grill. Moe's was really popular back then. With over 700 outlets, it was a popular destination for burritos, tacos, and build-your-own bowls. For many, it was a joyful and welcoming alternative to Chipotle. But in 2025, Moe's is unraveling quickly. More than 50 stores have shuttered in Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Entire marketplaces in Indiana and Illinois have gone dark. Franchisees are filing for bankruptcy and walking away. Sales fell 18% in 2024, the brand's lowest year in more than a decade. Customers are saying it loud and clear: boring cuisine, variable quality, and eateries that feel trapped in the past. Franchisees who run the vast majority of Moe's outlets are fed up. Nearly 25% have either terminated their contracts or defaulted on leases, citing escalating expenses and no support from corporate. The parent company, Focus Brands, has switched its focus to other successful brands such as Auntie Anne's and Cinnabon. Moe's revenue fell below $400 million in 2024, marking a significant decline from its peak. Currently, the brand is being marketed to possible buyers, but no one has expressed interest. While Chipotle continues to refine its game and Taco Bell expands with exciting new flavors, Moe's is losing ground quickly. And unless someone comes up with a genuine plan, this once promising enterprise may not survive. Now, let's get into Firehouse Subs. Once upon a time, Firehouse Subs was the go-to place for hearty sandwiches, firefighter-themed decor, and the sense that you were supporting something greater than yourself. But in 2025, the alarms are ringing, but no one is answering. Guest visits fell by 6% in 2024. In Minnesota alone, 18 stores have closed. What about the Pacific Northwest? Completely vanishes from the map. Firehouse has dropped from over 200 sites at its peak to just over 1,000, and the number is decreasing month after month. What caused the collapse? Mainly debt. Franchisees are drowning in soaring rents, operational expenses, and fees. One Minneapolis business owner, who is over $1 million in debt, described the Firehouse model as a ticking time bomb. And here's the kicker. Corporate support ceased nearly entirely in late 2024. Operators were left to fend for themselves in an extremely competitive industry. Meanwhile, competitors thrive. Subway is making a comeback with the Eat Fresh, Refresh campaign. Jersey Mike's dominates in terms of digital convenience and client loyalty. Jimmy John's is also expanding its sandwich offerings. And Firehouse Subs, a promised brand change in 2023, never materialized. Healthy menu options flopped. Desperate franchisees claim headquarters will not even return their calls. Firehouse Subs, a business known for its rescue efforts, is now in need of saving, and time is running out. It's time for Arby's. Remember the jingle, "We have the meats," used to reverberate across advertising and stick in your head like a catchy song. However, by 2025, many cities across America have been left with nothing but stillness. An empty building, a gloomy omen, another business has closed. This roast beef business is crumbling one place at a time. Sales have been sharply declining. Same-store sales fell 11.5% in 2024, following an 8.7% loss the year before. By mid-2025, Arby's intends to close another 200 sites, including long-standing operations in Houston, San Antonio, and San Francisco. Rural communities are not exempt either. Franchisees are leaving unprofitable sites. Why? Because Arby's has not kept up with today's diners. While McDonald's and Wendy's pushed ahead with slick applications, loyalty programs, and ever-changing menus, Arby's remained with roast beef. Sure, they attempted new things, venison sandwiches, fish tacos, but those efforts only confused longtime fans and failed to appeal to newer audiences. Franchisees are fed up. With rising food costs, high mortgage rates, and Arby's hefty licensing fees, many franchisees are on the verge of bankruptcy. Some are even suing the chain, accusing it of providing little assistance during financial difficulties. Inspire Brands, the parent business, appears to be more focused on Sonic and Buffalo Wild Wings, which are both growing. Arby's, stuck with flashy commercials and modest menu changes that do nothing to address years of deterioration. For many Americans, Arby's is no longer a meal, it is a memory. So there you have it. The terrible realities of fast food in 2025. Beloved chains are disappearing quicker than ever. Competition is brutal. Rising food prices, labor shortages, and changing consumer preferences have all pushed margins tight. Although the global fast food sector is expected to expand by 3.2% by 2025, recovery remains uneven. Not everybody will make it. Is your favorite spot still open? Treasure it. Because of tomorrow? It might not be. Thank you for watching. Let me know when you're ready to keep going. I'll keep the storyline snappy, emotive, and completely binge-worthy.